Flippity flop.
What is up, my friends, and welcome back to another video. Today I have 11 gaming questions for you guys. Now this is a response video. Nathan's Gaming had originally done these 11 questions. Great questions that he came up with. So I'm doing a response video. If you guys want to check out his 11 questions and the answers, feel free. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. And if you're a creator and you want to make your own response video to this, go right ahead and you know, when you make the video, leave a link in the comments, you know, down below, so I can make sure I catch it myself. And you know, for all you viewers that want to, you know, answer your versions of these questions, feel free to leave me some feedback in the comments below. All right, so here we go with the first question. Oh yeah, before we start the first question, Pablo the Possum had wanted to contribute to this video, so he's going to be answering some of these questions. So I'm going to be going back and forth with the mic. He wanted to take part of this, so you know, viewer discretion is advised for when this friggin' rat, you know, gets on the camera. All right, here we go. First question. What was the first game that you can remember playing on a home console? My first memory of early video gaming, I was about 3.5, 4 years old at my father's house. He had the Intellivision, the original Intellivision, and I remember playing Space Armada. It was one of my, you know, first memories of video gaming. And if for those of you that don't know what Space Armada is, it's pretty much like an Intellivision version, a clone version of Space Invaders. So I had played Space Armada first, before Space Invaders. You know, as I got older, obviously, years down the road, I realized that Space Invaders was the original. But, you know, Space Armada will always be dear to me as the very first game I ever played, at least to my memory. Now, the second question. What was the first game you were able to complete without a continue? My personal experience, you know, my first console that was actually mine, you know, given to me as a gift from my mother, was the NES. I think I got that in '86. And the very first game that I completed without a continue would be Super Mario Brothers. Freaking epic game on so many proportions. You know, set an evolution and brought gaming, video gaming, home console gaming back, you know, on the scene, you know, because Atari 2600 and the Intellivision both contributed to the market crash, the video game crash back in the early 80s. Nintendo came around and revitalized it. So, you know, if you're playing on your PS4 right now, you can thank NES back in '85 for reinventing home consoles. Alright, so now, third question. What is your favorite gaming controller? So, I mean, it's really tough to pick. I mean, for every console that I own, I pretty much love the, you know, controller. I've never really picky with controllers, although I do believe that some controllers are just better than others. But personally, you know, this is a tough one. My favorite controller of all time had to go to the PS3, and in particular, you know, this controller right here no longer works anymore. It's probably got about over 5,000 Call of Duty kills on it, but it actually works kinda. It just malfunctions a lot, so I figured you know, hang it up on the trophy rack, because you know, it's God only knows how many hours I spent using this controller. PS3, I mean, I think I've spent more hours on my PS3 than any other console in my lifetime. I don't know, so that's why I have to give it to Sony PS3 controller. Next question. Would you use YouTube to find secrets before you played it? So, personally, growing up in my teens, early 20s, not really early 20s, but you know, my tween youth and my teenage years, my younger teenage years, there was really nowhere you can go on the internet or YouTube to find, you know, tricks and gameplays and stuff like that. We used magazines, or there was like a 1-900, you know, phone number where you would call and get tips, you know, over the phone. But personally, I don't use YouTube to find out tricks or tips. I use YouTube to find out games that I may, you know, be interested in playing. So yeah, part of the fun for me is to discover everything on my own. So if it's going to be a game that I find out about on YouTube, I won't watch, you know, full gameplays, you know, or tips and tricks. I don't want to know, because I'd rather discover it all for myself. So that would answer that question. Next question. What game would make a brilliant anime or a movie? Now, Pablo has intervened and he wants to answer this question, so I'm going to pass the camera over to him.
What is up, motherfuckers? I'm back here to fucking carry Turbo Joe's fucking ass. So, question number 5. What game would make a brilliant anime or movie? First of all, what the fuck is an anime? Is that the Japanese fucking squealing cartoon shit? I've noticed the fucking... those Japanese cartoons when you have those girls screaming in the high-pitched fucking voices, like, sounding like fucking porno stars. So, I don't know about anime. Back in the day, we fucking called them cartoons. So, a cartoon that I'd love to see make it to the video games would be Thundercats. Because cats are fucking badass. And I love to hump them.
Number 6. What was the best console era of gaming for you? Those really special years in the 80s when gaming was brand new to me. I was really young. I'll never forget those cherished memories. But I would think the most for me personally, the best era for me was PlayStation 3. Like I mentioned earlier, I spent more time playing on the PS3 than any other console in the history of my gaming. In that era, gaming online just blew up out of proportions, and it became really simple to go online and play against, compete, co-op, and also indie games, downloadable indie games, were just a phenomenon. Especially starting with PS3, Xbox, 360, and I've purchased hundreds of indie digital downloads. I really enjoy them because they for the most part, they usually resemble retro style games. And so yeah, PS3 would be my favorite era of all time, probably. Just going by the amount of hours and gameplay I've spent on it. So if I was to rate my favorite 3 eras of all time, which is very difficult to do, I'd start off with number 3 would be PS4. Number 2 would probably be Sega Genesis / Super NES. And number 1 would be PS3. Moving on. Alright, number 7. Who or what inspired you to make a YouTube channel? Who in particular? I discovered video gaming content on YouTube probably around, I'm a latecomer, probably around 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, when I used to play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. It's a mobile game. I was really into it, and I would go to YouTube to find the latest news on the game, the latest events that are coming up, and I found a couple of channels that I really enjoyed. They were probably the first 2 channels I ever subscribed to, Arnold T101 and The Mobile Gamer. They solely cover Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and I remember discovering them and watching their channels blow up to like over 100,000 each. I don't even know. I don't follow the game anymore, so I don't follow them anymore. But they were very entertaining, and they kind of inspired me to go down the rabbit hole and discover all these other gaming channels, retro gaming channels, modern gaming channels, and then over time it was like it inspired me to want to do this myself. All right, number 8. Handheld gaming device. Which is your favorite? Difficult for me. It would be a cross between. It'd be a tough battle between the PSP, the original PSP 3000, and the Nintendo 3DS. I love them both dearly, but if I could only keep one, I would take my Nintendo 3DS. It's tough by a cunt hair. So close. I love my Nintendo 3DS. I love my PSP. Really tough one. Alright, so let's move on to the next question. Alright, question number 9. PlayStation or Xbox? It's a very controversial question, and the severe fanboys really get disappointed if you pick one or the other. So I'm staying away from this freaking question. Pablo the Possum wants to answer this question. So, Pablo?
PlayStation or Xbox? That's a fucking easy question. Fucking PlayStation, motherfucker! Xbox can't hold a fucking candle to the PlayStation. More fucking exclusive games, and up till the last generation, you can game for fucking free. And if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you get free games every fucking month. For only $60 a year, you can play online, have access to all these features, and 2 to 3 free games every month. That's way better than that fucking video games monthly cardboard box shit. With stupid stickers and lunch boxes. PlayStation dominates, motherfucker.
And number 10, another controversial question. And let me read it to you guys. What do you think of emulated gaming? So Pablo the Possum wants to answer that one as well.
Question number 10. What do I think of emulated gaming? Well, I think emulated gaming is great, especially when it's done right. And it gives the opportunity for gamers that love to play fucking games and not hang shit on their fucking walls a chance to collect and play lots of games that they couldn't play in their childhood. Not everyone has the fucking space to have fucking stacks and stacks of plastic fucking and cardboard boxes all over their walls, and that is those physical collectors. Emulation makes it simple, easy, and organized to find a game and fucking play it. What do you fucking need, a fucking library in your fucking basement? No! I understand the need to collect your favorite physical games, but I don't understand what all the hate is for emulation. Not everyone can afford to spend 30, 40, 50 bucks on some of these old Sega or Nintendo games, or even Sega Dreamcast. It's insane. So yes, emulation is a good thing. These are games that made their money decades ago. Just like books that you can find free in the library, emulation of old ancient games should be free too. And it is. Speaking of emulation, you could pick up something like this. Little $20 handheld, and it's got a fucking 200 NES games in there. Compare that to the $100 stinking Evercade. Fucking ripoff. Yeah. So anyway, emulation is great.
And number 11, what is the scariest game or demo that you have ever played? I'm not really big into horror games. Usually they don't really, frighten me. But those of you may have heard of this game called Dead Space. It was the first and only game that actually had me holding the controller like this and jumping and flinching and anticipating the next friggin' jump. Phenomenal horror sci-fi game I've talked about on the channel. Actually last year for my Halloween video me and Brent did. That was actually one of my favorite videos of all time. But yeah, Dead Space would take the icing on the cake for me. So that's all I really have. 11 gaming questions. Like I said, feel free if you want to do a response video. Pretty cool questions. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you again really soon. I got some interesting news to pass. Probably drop it Wednesday night. Take care, everyone. Peace.
Yeah.